Hi, Salware. We are now on page 18 of Adler, and in this section Adler starts to introduce the nouns adjective. Now we've already seen the noun substantive. We've seen a noun substantive of the first declension, right? Regina, a queen. Regina, reginae, reginae, reginam, regina. So those are that's the declension of the first. The second we've seen dominus, domine, domini, domino, dominum, domino. And the third we've seen vestis, 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 vesti, vestem, veste. We now are going to look at nouns adjective. The first type of noun adjective is declined in the first and the second declension, and it's entirely regular, so there are absolutely no surprises. Bona, meaning good. So bona, bona, bonai, bonai, bonum, bona. Exactly the same as regina, regina, reginae, reginae, reginam, regina. No difference. So bona, good, in the feminine. Then the masculine, bonus. So it's like dominus. And just goes dominus, domine, domini, domino, dominum, domino. Follows the same pattern. Bonus, bonne, boni, bono, bonum, bono. So you treat it exactly the same as though it were the noun dominus. Second declension, masculine. And we can remember the vocative of bonus being bonne from the expression mi bonne es trans oceanum. Mi bonne es transoceanum. My bonny, es, you are, transoceanum, across the ocean. So, mi bonne, my good, my bonny. Es, so sum, I am, es, you are, in the second person, es, you are. So, mi bonny, es, my bonny, you are, when you're talking to the bonny. Mi bonny, mi bonne, mi bonne. So our English word bonny comes from the vocative of bonus. So bonus ending in us, so it's bonne. It's a second declension, so the genitive is e, boni. Dative bono, accusative bonum, and bono. So bonus, bonne, boni, bono, bonum, bono. The neuter is perfectly regular. Bonum, bonum. The genitive never changes. Boni, bono, bonum, because the nominative and the accusative of neuters are the same, so bonum, bonum, and the ablative bono. There are no surprises there. There's some slight variations. Some of these adjectives, instead of having bona, bonus, bonum, have, instead of the us ending in the masculine, have the other ending er. So some of them end like magister and not like dominus. But apart from the nominative, everything else is the same. Pulchra, pulchra, beautiful. So pulchra is just like a regina. Pulchra, pulchra, pulchrai, pulchrai, pulchrum, pulchra. There are no surprises there at all. Pulcher is like magister, and so it doesn't decline from the nominative to the vocative. So pulcher, masculine, beautiful. Pulcher, pulcher. The genitive unchanging. Pulchri. Pulchro, pulchrum, pulchro. So it declines exactly the same as magister, or exactly the same as dominus, except for in these first two. Pulcher, pulcher. But from the genitive onwards, no change. The neuter is the same as any other neuter form, like saccharum. So pulchrum, pulchrum, pulchri, pulchro, pulchrum, pulchro. So the same as saccharum, sugar. Then we have nouns adjective that are in the third declension. Now, there's a slight variation here because the noun adjective we're going to look at first has its neuter in e, just like tibiale, a stocking. Now remember that tibiale, because it ends in le, its ablative is tibiali. That same rule applies to all of the ablatives of nouns adjective if the neuter ends in an e in the nominative. So it's turpis, masculine and feminine, and turpe in the neuter. And so we need to remember that if the neuter in the nominative ends in e, then the ablative will not end in e, but in e. So if it ends in an e here in the neuter, it will not end in an e here in the ablative. Let's look at it. Let's look at the neuter first, because the neuter will affect the ablative. Turpe, turpe, meaning ugly. Turpe. Turpe. It's a third declension, and so guess what? It ends in is. Turpis. Turpis. The dative, like any other third declension dative, turpi. Then it's neuter, so turpe, and here again, turpe. But because it ends in e here, it does not end in e here, so it's turpi. Let's run through it. Turpe, turpe, turpis, turpi, turpe, and turpi. Why is it turpe here? Because it's neuter, and so the accusative and the nominative are going to be the same. Turpe, turpe. Why is it turpi here? It's turpi in the ablative because this here has a neuter ending in e, just like tibiale, tibiali, which we saw before. How about the masculine and the feminine? We've got fewer things to learn because the masculine and the feminine are identical. So it's turpis, whether it's masculine or feminine. So we would say mensa, that's a noun substantive, table, mensa, turpis. Mensa, feminine, turpis. Or we could say dominus, which is masculine, turpis. Dominus turpis. But we would say saccharum turpe. Saccharum turpe, because it's neuter, and turpe is the neuter form. So turpis goes to here for the masculine, turpis goes to here for the feminine, or indeed masculine or feminine of a third declension, or of any of the others. Turpis, turpis are masculine and feminine. Turpe is neuter. So let's decline it. Turpis. turpis, and its third declension, so here we can guess what it's going to be, turpis. The dative of a third declension, turpi. Now for the masculine and the feminine, turpis, 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 turpi, turpin. But here we have our surprise. That third declension, nouns, adjective, that end in "e" in the neuter, don't have "e" in the ablative. Here it's turpi. So turpi, just like it is turpi for the neuter. Turpis, 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 turpi, turpin, turpi. And why does it end in "e" in the ablative and not in "e"? Because it ends in "e" in the neuter, turpe, just like tibiale, tibiali, turpe, turpi. Good. That's enough of that. It might be a little bit confusing, but it's not that confusing. I hope. Voila.